Hello students, this is your course on content marketing. In this video on introduction to content marketing, we are going to talk about different types of content which are used for marketing. So, what are these different types of content which are used for marketing purpose? Essentially, they can all be categorized in 11 broad categories. And there are some of these which you have already seen in your day to day life. And even though you may not be part of the management function, as a consumer, you may have already been consuming a lot of these different types of contents from various providers. The first one, the most popular one, being blog posts or articles. Blog posts or articles are something which many of the organizations that are investing in content marketing have learned to invest in from the very beginning. And this is usually the first type of content format which is developed by content marketers for the brands that they're working on. Primarily because this is a low investment activity. It is also a very fast way to put the word out there in the market and connect with the customers, connect with the traffic in a more organic way, talk to them about the product, its benefits, its features, and its uses in their life. So, this is usually the first step which most content marketers take once they have a fully functional website and they want to now further expand on the content available on the website, as well as talk to their customers in a more natural way. Another type of content which is very popular, especially in the B2B market, is white papers, ebooks, and reports. So, when a company is trying to use content marketing to sell products and services to their B2B customers, then blogs and articles don't just cut it, they have to up the game a little bit. And to do that, they adopt more in-depth, more detailed resources, written resources once again, which are like white papers, ebooks, and reports. So white papers and reports are usually based on industry research, have a lot of data, have a lot of statistics and visual representation of data, and a lot of use cases. And the idea here is to give a lot of information in a concentrated manner to the target customer, usually a B2B customer who is already very informed in that particular industry or niche. And then once you have done that, the next stage is, of course, establishing yourself as an expert, as a leader in that particular industry. And therefore, you can also share ebooks on the topic in the industry, the product features, applicability, uses, anything which could be of use to your target customer. Then podcast is another type of content. It's not written; it is an audio format of content, and again used by companies that have celebrity managers, leaders that have a good following in the market, and they want to utilize their expertise to connect with their end customers in, again, a more natural manner. Then email newsletter and nurturing campaigns are written content type once again, and they are majorly used to retain customers, develop their brand loyalty, and keep them engaged, keep them updated about whatever is happening with the company, thus keeping their interests alive and keeping them coming back for more and more purchase from the same company. Then videos is another type of content which has been gaining traction in the last few years, especially as is the case with B2C brands, business to customer brands. The end customers are finding video content more and more attractive, more engaging. They're spending more time consuming such content instead of reading the blogs or articles or ebooks. So, obviously, since the customers are preferring this type of content, companies are now learning to make this type of content. Then, thought leadership and point of view content is another thing which has been used by content marketers, especially when they have that kind of position in the industry. They're generating content and contributing it to widely popular platforms like Forbes, Medium, Entrepreneur, or any such platform which is pertaining to their particular industry. Like in case of IT, it could be Wired. And what they intend to achieve out of that is establishing their company as well as their leadership as the opinion leaders, the thought leaders in a particular industry or in a particular niche. How they are different from white papers and reports is these are not generally backed by research, data, and statistics. These are opinion posts. So you have more flexibility when you are publishing this kind of content. Then you have infographics. Infographics is when you use visual representation as a way of sharing information with your customer while having some aesthetic sense and aesthetic appeal to it. So, a lot of B2B as well as B2C companies are using infographics for using attractive color, font, mix, as well as some research represented in a very visually appealing manner, usually reducing the time in which a customer can absorb information and content. And let's say if the customer were to spend 4 minutes to 8 minutes reading a blog post, from an infographic about the blog post, customer can consume the same information in about a minute. So this is again also a great way of attracting customers to the website or to the blogs, because they might find the infographic so interesting that they would want to learn more about it, and they would land up reading the entire blog post or article. Then how to guides are also gaining a lot of traction. So they are very much in line with the ebooks and white papers, although they are usually again of help to customers who are already aligned with the company. So now they want to learn how to use the product, so or how to use a particular feature in a product. So how to guides are helping customers understand how to improve their experience of the product or the service. So companies are investing a lot of thought in designing how to guides which are very user friendly, which are very detail oriented, and are helping the overall user experience. The social media posts is another type of content. Just like blog posts, social media posts is something which majority of you would have already seen a lot of brands posting out there, and they are usually the easiest way of start generating content and start generating customer engagement through content. Then case studies and client profiles or use cases are another great way of publishing relevant content for your existing users as well as new users, especially by showing them how your product can work, how your company's product or services can work in a given scenario for a given business need or for a particular requirement of an organization. So, this is a great way of again explaining to your potential target readers that what is the kind of value that you're offering, not just through your content, but through the products and services that you have. Then webinars, very much in line with podcasts and videos, are a great way to connect with live audiences, share a lot of information, insights with them, at times entertain them, bring celebrity content contributors, and basically have an opportunity to shape your brand in such a fashion that your target customers start seeing you as a thought leader. So these are major type of contents which content marketers use today to connect with their audiences. Now, we can actually plot these different types of contents in hierarchical manner, in a pyramid manner also, essentially on the basis of which of these are low effort type of content and can therefore be published more regularly, and which of these are high effort, more time consuming, cost consuming, effort consuming type of contents, and therefore can only be shared rarely with the target customers. So at the bottom you can see social media posts and curated content can be captured. These are very low effort. Social media posts are often something which can be created in a time frame about 10-15 minutes, very well thought ones maybe in half an hour's time. Curated content is when you find good content elsewhere and you just tweak it a little bit and publish it on your social platforms. So the time taken, the effort taken here is much less. Therefore, in a given day, you can publish multiple times. This kind of content can be shared multiple times with your end customer. You move a little up in the pyramid and you see now the kind of content which requires a little more effort, like short form blog posts and contributed content. So short form blog posts can be anywhere between 400 to 800 words, and therefore can take about 1 to 2 hours to produce, depending upon the content resources and team that you have. Then, contributed content is something which you can get from freelancers, guest post providers. And this is something which again requires some planning, some coordination, and therefore the amount of effort involved is higher than what is there in social media posts. And again, therefore, this is not something that you can publish multiple times in a day. Your frequency can go down. You can maybe restrict it to 2 posts in a week or 1 post in a week, depending upon your business and the engagement that you have with your customers. Then you go again a little bit up in the ladder, in the pyramid, and you see the type of content which require further more effort, time, energy, and research to create. And these are where infographics and slide shares factor or feature. A lot of written and designed content goes into both these. SlideShares are nothing but PowerPoint presentations which are uploaded on SlideShare, which is a subsidiary of LinkedIn. And again, most of these two types of features or these two types of contents are heavily used in the B2B market, wherein you already have an educated, informed user and you want to attract them or encourage them to visit your website by showing that you are having superior information or an extra edge in terms of your understanding of the business and the product. Go a little further up and then you see further more high effort type of content, which is long form blog posts and presentations. So slide shares can be very much generic in nature, can have no brand association, can have simple explanation of concepts, often curated from other sources. But presentations, especially with brand association, with the internal data, requires time, requires thought, and a lot of security aspect is considered. The long form blog posts can be anywhere between 1500 to 3000 words and take a couple of days to produce, because these are again well researched, usually have citations and research references and statistics to support the point being made in the blog post. Sometimes even case studies are included in such blog posts. So these are not something which can be published with utmost regularity and like multiple times in a day or multiple times in a week. So such kind of posts can be maybe once a month or twice or 4 times a month. That's about it. Then you have the most effort consuming, time consuming, resource consuming type of content, which is books, ebooks, white papers, and primary or secondary research and thought leadership content. So these are some things which are created over a period of weeks or months, and this is not something that can be published with high regularity. Depending upon the business model in which you are operating as a content marketer, you will have access to some kind of data which can help you design ebooks at a faster speed, maybe an ebook in 15 days or 20 days also. But still, it remains an area which requires a lot of editing, a lot of thought goes into the conceptualization of the product also. Therefore, this type of content is very rarely published by content marketers, and only when it proves that it brings relevant traffic to the website and has the potential of converting leads into customers. Now, As you saw, there are different types of contents which are available for content marketers to choose from. So while designing a content marketing campaign or strategy for a long term purpose, what a content marketer has to keep in mind is that what is the role played by each type of content, and what type of goals, what type of objectives are desired to be achieved by using that particular type of content. For instance, there are four major phases through which a customer goes through when they are becoming from your prospect to your customer. And it begins with awareness. So there exists a stage when the customer does not know about you, about your brand, about your product, about your company, and they need information. They want to know, but they don't know that anything like your company even exists. So you need to create content which can generate awareness, which can make the customer aware about your value proposition, and therefore attract them to your platform, to your website, or to your e-commerce platform where you want to ultimately convert them. So to generate awareness, the content needs to spark that interest and spark that instant attraction, and of course encourage them to visit the platform. So the best type of content which can be used to achieve this particular goal and achieve awareness are articles, blog posts, infographics, podcasts, white papers, videos, tip sheets, industry webinars, ebooks, depending upon again the kind of customers that you want to attract. Then the next phase in a customer's journey is interest. They are aware of your brand, they know that you exist, you have a product in the market, but they are not yet interested to buy. So the awareness is there, they know, but they're not interested. So you want to now turn their awareness into interest. You want to turn them into leads. They were once prospects, now you want to turn them into leads. And to do that, the best way you can use different content types is you can have maybe training videos which can have a stronger connection generated between the brand and the customer. You can offer assessments, free as well as paid. You can offer solution videos, frameworks, educational worksheets, solution pages, presentations. Virtual events can be organized, physical events can be organized, to which you can encourage these potential prospects to attend. Now, a lot of this content can be free or freemium in nature, because your objective is not just to share your content. You're not selling your content, you want to sell your product. So you use your content to convert these prospects into leads. And since interest generation is the main objective, a lot of the time content marketers use this particular phase to share a lot of content free of cost, which can eventually become more detailed and more serviced, and then it can have a price attached to it. Then you have the next phase in a customer journey, which is called consideration. So a customer is aware of your product, is interested in buying also, is checking, researching the market. Then comes a stage when the customer starts considering some shortlisted brands and trying to decide which exact brand they want to buy. So, this is a consideration set which is formed by the customer, often including 4 to 5 brands, depending upon the product features, the quality, the budget that the customer has available, and the brand image. So, there could be any number of factors which the customer may be thinking of while including brands in the consideration set. So, as a content marketer, now you want to appear in the consideration set of these leads that you have. And for that to happen, you want to build a brand preference, and you want to seem superior to your competitors. So, how can you do that? You can now start creating content which is more meaningful to the customer at this phase of their buying journey. So, you can offer data sheets, case studies, testimonials of previous customers. Then free trials can be offered. You can also have comparison based content where you can compare your product with the competitor's product. You can also have buying or product guides, evaluation tools. You can also organize product webinars, have virtual classrooms or sales enablement tools. Largely because this is a phase where the customer is now actively assessing your brand, and of course, comparing it with the competitor's brand. So, your content now has to win the battle. And to do that, your content has to have some inherent call to action, inherent um, message in it that is telling the customer that, see, this brand is definitely better at delivering value than its competitors. And if you've come this far, if you have had this journey with the brand, now is the time for you to develop a brand preference for the company. The last phase is definitely decision making, wherein the customer chooses to finally buy the product and the prospect finally turns into the customer. So, this is where you want now the customer to ultimately not just complete this transaction but continue this relationship in the long term and keep on coming back to you. So you cannot just give them a horde of content in the previous phases and suddenly dry up on this. So what you can offer at this phase is at this stage to your customer is again ROI case studies. Now you can start talking numbers, you can start talking money. You're not just talking how your features are better, you can talk about how when the customer invests in your product, you can deliver better returns, and definitely in terms of percentage profit hike or percentage cost decline. You can also talk and provide detailed assessments to the customer by doing a lot of interviews or a lot of investigation within the customer's set of requirements. Then you can organize tailored workshops for the customer, because as you start interacting with the customer, you become aware of their requirement in better depth. You can have product demos for them, and custom sales enablement can also be organized. Then custom executive presentations can be organized, especially to ensure that your customer feels that they are valued, they have made the right decision in choosing your product, and they overall see that what you were talking about in the earliest phases of your blog posts, articles, videos, you are delivering that through your sales support and your product support as well. So basically, that's how different types of content is used in content marketing. And as a content marketer in training, you need to understand that how these different types of content can be used and can become of use to achieve different types of business goals. So that's it about different types of contents. Next up, we will study a brand story, understanding how a company used content marketing successfully to gain its business objectives. Until then, thank you.